Eastern Washington has been quick to reject this.
That's right. The authors behind this study say they set out to give an unbiased economic analysis of these dams, but they were quick to find out the Heels dig deep on this issue. The dams we're talking about, these four here on the lower Snake River in central and eastern Washington. Now, here's the rundown. The dams produce hydropower, though just a small percentage for our region. Transportation, that's shipping wheat as far east as Idaho out to the ocean for export, and irrigation for a handful of farmers. Now, the dams also impede threatened fish species from reaching critical habitat, and a free-flowing river would give them more favorable conditions in the face of climate change. The endangered orcas also rely on this salmon. Now, the report was funded by the late Paul Allen's Vulcan and authored by Echo Northwest. It looked at all of the dam's uses and said not only do the benefits of breaching outweigh the costs, society as a whole would likely be better off without them. Now, when it comes to energy, there is a cost to those dams going off the grid. Some estimates have energy bills going up about $1 to $2 a month. That being said, the most damning part of this study might be its look at barging on the river, where the amount of money the federal government spends subsidizing the lock system far exceeds what the public gets from that usage. So much so that the study says even without breaching the dams, the money just does not justify continuing river transportation.
But Eastern Washington farmers rely on this. So what is the reaction out there?
Yeah, this is very east versus west. The east is very much rejecting this study's findings. The two congressional representatives who have these dams in their district say this privately funded study is a slap in the face of our state's agricultural economy. It is another example of Seattle-based interests failing to understand our way of life in central and eastern Washington. Congresswoman Jamie Herrera Butler, the other Washington Republican, said the study is pushing an anti-dam agenda. All three Republicans propping up the federal study going on right now. That draft will be ready this February. I spoke to the author of this current study. He said while the agricultural community does stand to lose, the economic argument is not behind them.
I would hope that as people talk about policy solutions, that they can pragmatically address those losses and not make it the center of the debate, because it's not the biggest issue at play.
Now, this study will look different than what the federal government comes up with next year. That's because Echo Northwest takes into account what's called non-use value. That's how much people are willing to pay for this free-flowing river. And that is how the benefits get into the billions. Now, the federal government is going to look at that non-use value, but it's not going to be a part of their bottom line analysis.